has she gone? Well, I guess we'll find out. And we'll also find out what this IMDb plot has to say. When 16-year-old Samantha has the house to herself over the weekend, she plans a romantic night for her and her girlfriend. However, when an intruder makes his way into her home, it's fight or flight on a night that will change her life. All right, always these night changing moments and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, uh, really, this is a movie that I didn't know much about. Got it was sent to me, so this was a screener that I saw. I saw this a while ago. I'm just saying on this review. They just sent it to me to if I had a chance to watch it, and I think I did a small press release on promote horror with it. But really, didn't know much about it. I think now it's been released on demand and so forth. Um, Here on IMDb, it doesn't have a lot of reviews, but does have a pretty decent rating for the few reviews it has, to kind of give you that. So we'll find out what I think here in a few minutes. But the story, yeah, it is kind of that way. You kind of get introduced to two young people here who are dating, um, and getting ready for a night together. And unfortunately for one, it's not going to end well. Her night is going to come to a really bad ending. You almost don't expect it in the way that the scene kind of plays out. Um, I can say this for this movie, I guess at the top, is that it tries to do some things different. I just finished doing another review where I say similar but different, and I guess this is another one that is has some similar moments, but tries to give you something different. Um, which you hope you don't want to see the same things over and over. Um, but yeah, the way the scene, the early scene with this one girl happens, you're kind of expecting it to go in a certain way, but then it kind of turns on a dime and goes bad, probably quicker than you thought. You think she's going to get more of an opportunity than she gets, and she doesn't. If that makes any sense, I guess you kind of have to see the opening to kind of go along with that. But yeah, she's dead, and then we see the flip side of that is that her girlfriend is also waiting, anticipating a night for them to have together. Um, but obviously it doesn't happen because her girlfriend never shows up, and you know her mom is going to leave the house, and kind of leaves her, as I mentioned at the top, is left alone. But there's that mention of her being a good girl, and they're not going to get in any trouble, they're not going to do anything they shouldn't do, blah blah, and all that kind of good stuff. uh, But where you thought that maybe if they had, if her girlfriend would actually made it to the house, maybe they would have done other stuff that maybe her mom probably wouldn't didn't want them to do. But she's going to end up doing some other stuff that yeah, she probably shouldn't have done anyway. But yeah, she's going to do it, and that's going to be the fun of the movie. Um, so yeah, a little bit of a weird thing here is that the person who killed the girl actually comes and then tries to kill the girlfriend. Why? Well, there's a little bit of explanation, but this being a fairly new movie, I'm not going to get into spoiler territory, um, and kind of spoil that for you guys. That's one of the things to look for, as this movie goes on. But yeah, the killer is going to come, um, to her house and try to kill her as well. But it doesn't go so well. It doesn't go so well for the killer. Um, in what I say similar but different, we have the different here. Not that we have not seen this before, uh, but yeah, the killer kind of gets tied up, and he is going to be the one who's tortured here. Um, he's run into the wrong girl and pissed off the wrong girl, and she's going to proceed to have some fun torturing him. Um, and yeah, she is going to find out what he's done, and that he was the one that did it, and she is going to make him pay for it. So yeah, so while you see maybe thinking that this is going to be a serial killer kind of movie, this guy kills the one girl at the beginning, and has come for another one, but yeah, it is not. Is it just all about sitting there and torturing this guy? No, it's not. Even though as a horror fan, and a fan of blood and guts, you don't mind it. You're in for the ride. Let's torture him. But yeah, uh, it's a little, a few, some other things to start happening. Of course, you're in a house alone torturing somebody. Somebody's got to come to the door. So yeah, there's somebody who comes to the door. There's other person that comes to the house. There's those kind of things that are going to start leaving that trail of oh, there's now witnesses and so forth, and other people who might know that something is going on here. And obviously, the two girls had planned to be together, and there were other plans, other people, friends and so forth. There are other things that were happening on that night. So kind of all that kind of gets mixed into the story here. But, I guess the biggest non-spoiler thing to say here is that, yeah, it is a lot about the girl here and the guy that she's tied up because, and her torturing him. And then him, what is going to happen to him? Is he going to escape? Is she going to kill him? What is the deal here? Is there going to be a lot of back and forth, or is it going to be a little bit more one-sided? So there's those things to kind of see. Um, so I guess it's kind of hard to say without kind of spoiling it. So I guess I will kind of spoiler alert here, but it is just interesting to kind of see. On the surface, you saw her with her mom, and her say, I'm a good girl, I'll be fine, blah blah, and you don't think that there's, this side of her, but then there's this side of her, and then she proceeds, like I said, to torture him, and then you almost kind of see a serial killer bloom in her as this movie goes on, and I guess that's one of the things that kind of fascinated me, and why I kind of ended up liking the movie, is to kind of just see her kind of be nice, but then not be so nice, and then you know when you think that maybe it would just end because of she just dislikes this guy, but no, she has this dark side that just kind of takes over as the movie goes on. Um, so some other things kind of happen. Uh, Kind of reminded me in a way in certain circumstances, a tad bit of Dexter. I don't know, kind of in that, not totally, and not necessarily in some of the stuff she did, but just I don't know, just a flash there, kind of at me thought as the movie kind of winds down, um, of just having that serial killer born in you, or that dark side born in you, and so forth, and to kind of see how sneaky she is at being evil, as this movie kind of unfolds. Um, I guess my one kind of complaint about it is that she is a young girl, she's a little smaller, the guy is kind of big, so I'm not saying that she couldn't torture him and so forth. Uh, but there are probably a few things here or there that she did that maybe you thought that her by herself probably couldn't have done. Um, but you never know. She's really mad and ticked off, so maybe with that extra motivation, she was able to. I don't know. So I don't want to get into to the specifics. I want to let, if you are going to watch this, I want you to kind of enjoy her torturing, if you're into the blood and guts and torture kind of thing. So I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. But I think you might also see that there is a time or two where you're kind of wondering how it is that she by herself is able to do that, considering he seems to be a pretty big guy. Again, not trying to doubt anybody and not saying just because she's a young girl she couldn't do it. Just doesn't seem like. I mean, come on the face of it, it just doesn't seem likely. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's just the one kind of major complaint about it. Overall, I was all for it. I liked the situation that they set up there. Liked the beginning, how quick it kind of happened, and didn't kind of have to roll on. Didn't have to be, the two girls ended up being together, and then the attacker kind of went over there. He kind of killed one, then went to the other. Um, it is maybe a little bit awkward, the explanation that kind of happens, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Let's just get to the torturing. So, yeah, I had very little expectation, low expectations for this one, and actually really enjoyed it. When I put it on to watch, I'm like, oh, I'll probably just end up watching this, and it's gonna be another one that I watch and just don't review because you know, don't necessarily recommend it or not or whatever, or just whatever. But I actually liked it, and that's why I decided to kind of put this review out here. Uh, I'd seen it a little while, so it's probably been on. I think it's been on demand for a little while now. I'd been wanting to, but so many other movies have come along that I'm still behind to do reviews for. So, kind of wanted to get this one out there and let you guys know that if you stumble upon this one, it is worth checking out and probably one that you might not have heard a whole lot about. So I hope you guys enjoy it. With that, I'm going to give it 3.5 pools of blood. Um, I just I just I enjoyed it more than I expected, and really low expectations. So maybe that's kind of what bumped it out here. And then you guys can yell and scream at why I gave this 3.5 pools of blood, and then you watch another movie that I have just did reviewed, which everybody really really seemed to love and be like, hey, why did he give this the same score as that, and whatever. You please feel free to give it to me on that, but I can't help it. I low expectations for this. I liked it. That other movie, a lot of people had high expectations, and to me, it was good, but didn't reach those expectations. Yeah, you just have to go through my reviews and figure out what movie I'm talking about. But anyway, with that, 3.5 pools of blood, and that is out of 5. Horrorsgorereviews.blogspot.com is where you can find more of my reviews, all of my reviews, written and video. But if you're just interested in the video reviews, feel free to like and subscribe like everybody wants you to do. If not, no worries. But if you are on the channel, feel free to also check out some of the shorts, trying to have some fun there, entertain, and give some information along the way is also entertaining. But yeah, Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Feel free to talk horror with me there. And down in the comments section, if you do take a shot on this movie, did you like it? Feel free to throw that in there. So with that, I will catch you in the next review, horror fans.